So my sperm donor, he actually donated in 1994, and he already had a child of his own, Tommy. His wife at the time saw an advert in the newspaper for sperm donors needed. At the time, this was a new idea, as sperm donors had only been held on register since 1991. Him and his wife both knew people that couldn't conceive naturally, and he decided he wanted to give back, not to them directly, but it was just his way of helping. He said he didn't get paid for this, but they covered for travel expenses. I think this was around £10. So my search to find my donor. I grew up with my mum, my stepdad, and my 4 siblings. I'm the eldest. We were a close family, but how I was conceived was always the elephant in the room, and we didn't really speak about it. So my siblings didn't actually find out how I was conceived up until a few years ago. But when I turned 20, this is when I took my own steps into finding who my donor was. When I did this, I didn't tell a soul. I went into this completely on my own. But little did I know, this was actually the start of my 8-year-long journey. So the search, where did I begin? I started this search with very little information. All I knew is that I knew why my mum chose this type of sperm donor, and I knew he was anonymous, and that is it. So I asked for help the only place I knew how, and that was Google. I spent many hours searching, and I joined Facebook groups for people like me who were donor conceived. I didn't get too much information off this, but it was reassuring. It made me feel like I wasn't the only one. And then I came across this website, HFEA, Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority. And on this website, this is where you can go and you can request basic information, even though your sperm donor has chosen to be anonymous. And this is what I decided to do. So on the 13th of December 2019, I received a letter with basic information, and for the first time ever, I actually got an idea of who my dad was. So this is actually the letter I received. And as you can see, he has blue eyes like me, brown hair like me. I found out the year he was born, and found out he had his own children, he was still a blazer, and his interest were horses. And I think this is why my mum chose him, because her interests were also horses. But fun fact, to horse lovers, don't make a horse lover, because I'm not interested in horses. And after receiving this letter, I kind of didn't know where to go from this point, because I knew he was anonymous. Again, the Facebook groups, I didn't really have much to go off, so I kind of just left it there. It was always in the back of my mind, but I tried to not let it consume me. And then I actually, in November 2024, last year, I decided to make my final attempt into finding my donor. And I joined a website called Ancestry, and this is where you can send off your DNA, and then on there you get matched with other people that have also done the same thing. It took 6 weeks to get my results back, and to my surprise, I actually got a really close match to me. It was my donor's first cousin, Simon. So I know a lot of people go on join Ancestry, and their closest matches are 4th, 5th cousins, and you're never going to get too much information from that. So on the 10th of December, I messaged Simon, and to my amazement, he actually wanted to help me. Simon is one of the most genuine, loveliest people I've ever come across, and I hope one day I get to meet him, and because if it wasn't for Simon, I wouldn't be where I am today. And then, so January 2025, this is the month everything changed. Simon actually contacted my dad, Brian, and they had a few back and forth messages, and then so I forwarded a message from myself to Brian along with a picture. And in this message, I just wanted to reiterate to my dad that I wasn't here to tread on anyone's toes. I knew he had his own family, and I fully respected his privacy, and I was just grateful to get this far. But actually, to my amazement, Brian asked Simon for my contact details, and on the 7th of January this year, my dad made contact with me for the first time. He actually sent me a message, and I think I was putting the food shopping away at this moment, and I missed his message, and then an hour later, he called me, and this number on my phone popped up, and underneath it said Australia, and I knew in that moment that it was my dad, and he was in Australia. And that phone call was about half an hour, and it's one of the most surreal moments in my entire life. He was so lovely, and he said this is a complete shock to him. He never thought that he would be found, but he was so proud of me for finding him. And he told me that actually he was coming back to England at some point this year, and he would like to meet, and he said, would you? And I said, I would love to. And from that phone call, we have spoke every day since. And then May 2025, this is actually me and my dad. This is when he came back to England, and this was the first time we ever met. It's one of the happiest days of my life, and a day that I will never forget. And my dad carries this quote with him through life, and he's passed it down on to me. And I wanted to share it with you all because I think it does apply to us in this room. For those who dare to dream, there is a whole world to win, and we're all here, we're following our dreams. And yeah, we're going to win. I actually told my dad I was doing this presentation today, and he was very proud. And obviously this presentation is my journey and my point of view, but he's given me a message here to read out to you all. So, where do I begin? Life is a short journey, for some sadly short, for others a great experience to embrace. My journey started at a very young age, a fascination with Australia. 14 years ago, I had the opportunity to move to this beautiful country. My past was just forgotten history until January this year. A beautiful young lady contacts me, searching me for years. Why, you might ask? It's because I gave a gift 30 years ago. It was to help couples who could not conceive. Yes, I became a sperm donor. Today I'm so very proud. April stands before you, and do you know what's ironic? What I did 30 years ago is no different to you sitting in this room today. You will all be involved in the future of our families. Thank you for listening.
About having 4 siblings, were they all conceived naturally?
No, they weren't. So it's just myself. I'm the eldest. My mum was single on her own, and she really wanted to start a family. She's one of these people that's just born to be a mum, and she didn't find anyone to do it with. So she went through the donation, had me, and then when she was pregnant with me, she found my sibling's dad, and he was happy to take my mum on pregnant and raise me as his own.
On the letter that you showed from the HF, whatever it was,
HF, yeah.
It said something about other donors, other siblings?
Yes.
Have you been in contact with them?
No, I haven't tried actually. I obviously knew that, through a donation, there's more than likely going to be more than one child made through that, and there is 5 others, so it's myself and 5 others. But they're not an ancestry, and some people go through life and they never actually find out they're donor conceived, and I would never want that to be me to not that I wouldn't even know where to find them.
Yeah. So, but you haven't been approached by anyone else saying, I think you might be? Yet.
Yes, yeah, maybe one day, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. But, my dad has got 2 other children, and I only met them last month actually, and they're lovely. Can I stick it? get older,